Pedro Costa had a decision to make. He could sign for Juventus and move to one of the biggest clubs in the world, but he decided that it's too soon to move and he wanted to stay at Braga, so he signed the contract renewal with Braga. But this season wouldn't be easy as their #1 striker came back from injury, so he had to fight for his spot. Pedro Costa's first game is on the bench. He gets substituted at the 80th minute where it's 1-1. Pedro takes a shot from outside of the box, but it's a very poor shot. He gets another chance right in the box, but it's another horrible shot. Pedro Costa was getting frustrated, and in the last minute of the game, Pedro Costa gets a chance to win the game for Braga, but he misses. Pedro Costa had a very disappointing start to the season, and it wasn't looking great. He didn't even get selected for the next 2 matches, and Braga is 10th in the league, but they're now facing Sporting. Pedro is on the bench again, and Braga is 2-1 down when Pedro Costa gets substituted in. Can he save Braga this time? Pedro takes the shot, but the keeper saves it. 2 minutes later, Pedro gets a 1-on-1 against the goalkeeper. Surely he can't miss, but he does miss, and Braga loses the match. Pedro has clearly lost his form, and something is wrong. The manager had enough of him and decided to keep him out of the next 3 games, and things were going even worse for Braga as they dropped down to 15th. Braga's manager did not take any chance with Pedro Costa and didn't start Pedro in the next 3 months, which made Pedro more frustrated. But the manager needed him to get back into the form, so he gave Pedro a chance in the quarterfinals of the Portugal League Cup. Braga were already leading 1-0, so they just needed to finish the game on a win. 2 minutes in, Pedro gets a chance, but he misses once again. He gets really mad at himself. Pedro gets a pass in the box, but he misses again. He still hasn't scored a goal this season. Things are looking bad. Bruma gets a good pass. He's through on goal, and he scores to put Braga 2-0 up. Pedro is through on goal once again, but at yet another miss. Something was clearly wrong with Pedro. The game ends in a victory for Braga, but Pedro was disappointed. The manager was unimpressed and decided to let Pedro out of the next 4 matches. But Braga was still struggling in the league, so he gave Pedro a chance against Famalicão. Pedro really needed to find a way back. Pedro is through on goal once again, and Pedro has finally done it. He has finally scored a goal again after so long. Braga wins the match 2-0, and hopefully this was a sign that Pedro's form was coming back. But he didn't really need to hope, as he got a chance to start in his first Champions League match ever. But it was the last group stage game, and Braga was fighting for a 3rd spot to play Europa League, and they needed a win. Braga started off with a penalty, and they score, so as of now, Braga is going to the Europa League. Celtic do get a chance in the last minute. They shoot, but the ball hits the bar and goes out. But that's it. Braga wins the match and finishes the group on 3rd place. The manager saw something in Pedro, so after the game, he came to talk to him. It was about a potential position change. Should Pedro Costa try to play as a left winger, or should he continue as a striker?